So our next Q&A features someone who has been all the way around the sort of Welsh football scene, really, I suppose, the best way of describing it. A couple of different spells at Rill, managed Rill, played every position for Rill, I think. I'm sure you played in goal once as well. Yeah. It's Mark Connolly, so thanks, Mark. Really, really appreciate you taking part.
Much appreciated, mate. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I suppose just wanted to ask you to sort of like talk through your clubs, how you ended up playing in Wales, who your managers were, stuff like that. So, yeah, so how old were you when you first started playing football in North Wales?
I was about, I think it was 18, 19. I was just playing local football on the Wirral for a club called Shafts. And I remember Peter Davenport pulling me and saying, I didn't know who he was at the time, do you know what I mean? And he said, oh, do you fancy coming down on trial to Bangor? And at the time, I was thinking, Bangor's a bit far. I don't want to be travelling and stuff like that. I wasn't driving at the time as well, so I was thinking, how am I going to get there? You know, I don't know anyone. I was a bit shy. And Dad was like, no, I'll take you. We'll drive you down. There's a few lads from the Wirral who go, so come down. So I spoke to my dad. My dad said, just go, see what happens, you know, what harm could have caused, you know what I mean? So went down with Dabs on the Wednesday. We used to train in Hollywell on the old sand pitches. Went there, had one training session with him, and he was happy straight away, just wanted to sign me. So me being me, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll just have a chat with my dad, see what's what. Because obviously my dad would drive me to games and stuff like that. So he said, my dad said, yeah, go for it. So I went from there. Joined them. I think there were a couple of games into the season when I signed. At the time, Hughie Griffiths was there, Clayton Blackmore, Owen Shooter-Jones, Paul Roberts. Yeah, he's a good lad. So I think who else was there back at them days? Can't think top of my head, but yeah, maybe the older lads now who have gone on to retire. Yeah. Started there, like, so that was the start of the journey in the Welsh League, like.
And where did you move on from Bangor then? Yeah.
Well, I went from Bangor. After my spell there, John Hulse come in contact with me, but just before then, Kenny Mack was chatting to me, asking me to come in and train with them at TNS because he had a European game coming up. So again, I said, "Oh yeah," not thinking, you know, I'll upset anyone at Bangor and stuff like that, and Dabs. So I just went and played for them. It was on like a non-contract. Just obviously you can't turn down going away with a full-time team in Europe. It was the Champions League as well. I think we went to Sweden. I remember Nails getting injured, the right back. Yeah. And Kenny put me on for the last half hour. I was just like a deer in the headlights. Just the tempo, the speed of the game. Yeah, like the Tommy Holmes and moaning down my ear, Stevie Evans. Didn't know what to do. Like, okay, just try to follow what they were doing, kind of thing.
How old were you then?
I think it was 19.
Wow.
Well, it's got to be around about 19, something like that. Yeah. But yeah, it was a great experience. And from that, you know, TNS had a great team back then. I was a novice, didn't really have anything behind me, no experience and nothing like that. So I went on to Villa, like you just said. Then about John pulled me and spoke to me about it. And at the time, Greg Stones, who was best man at my wedding, he only lived up the road from me. So he was saying, "Oh, just come down to Villa. It's a great club. You'll love it there." Obviously, he started picking up a bit of the Welsh League, what was going on, like teams in the league and stuff like that. I'd seen the following at Rill. And what they done the year before, winning the, I think it was the treble he won.
Yeah.
I thought, I can't turn that down, like. So I went there, and then from there, stayed for 5 years. John must have seen something in me that he was happy with, you know what I mean? So went to Rill, and then was right back there at the time. Mark Powell was right back as well. Yeah. He was like a bit of a mentor to me. I used to drive in with him, Gary Powell, Stonesy. One of the funniest car schools I've ever been in. Like, just Mark Powell's the worst driver you'll ever meet. Honestly, he's just foot to the floor and just flies. He was starting at 55. God knows how how he didn't cash or anything like that. But yeah, that was the start of my time at Real, which I really enjoyed.
Brilliant. Where did you go after Real then? Chester, was it?
Yeah, well, at the time, before I joined Chester, Youngie was the manager, Colin Bay, and at the time as well, Real was suffering with outstanding bills with the HM revenue and all that. So during the season, people started leaving. Like to Georgia ran, Stonesy was going. The team was just disintegrating really, because obviously wages weren't getting paid, and it was a bad atmosphere to the club at the time. Obviously, nothing to do with the lads, what was going on behind the scenes, but it was difficult for us. Yeah. So at the time, I was leaving around about Christmas time with a few of the other lads. But Mary, Holly, who, God bless her, put some money into the club and kept a few of us there. Like, so I couldn't leave. Do you know what I mean? I had to stay no matter what. I'd stayed there, but like you said, at the end of the season, Youngie was at Colin Bay, got the Chester job.
Yeah.
And they were reforming again. I couldn't turn that down. Do you know what I mean? Working with Youngie again. A few lads at Real, George, Stonesy went there. Mikey Ward was going to sign. There was a few local lads around this area. I know we knew of in the Welsh League, so it wasn't, we're going to go into it blind. It was a bit of a new challenge, new club, new setup. So yeah, went from Real to Chester. Done a year and a bit there. Unfortunately, I done my medials in my knee. I was out for 7-8 months with a knee brace on, which set me right back. And obviously at the time, Chester were flying like, so I just spoke to Youngie, and Youngie put me out on loan to Bala then to get match fitness.
Yeah.
Joined up with Colin there. And again, that year, I think Bala got relegated. Well, didn't get relegated. They were second bottom or third bottom. Oh, sorry, bottom. We got relegated, but we stayed up because I think Connollly folded.
Yeah.
So kept us up. And from there, what a journey that was with Bala. He just absolutely went strength to strength, season on season.
How many years were you with Bala, Mark?
I think it was 7.5 years, something like that.
No. And that was Colin, presumably Colin was the manager all the way through that then, yeah?
Yeah, Colin was all the way through, yeah. Yeah, Colin sold the club to me. Never had a bad dressing room. Always group of lads that were there every single week, every single season that I was there. There was not one bad egg. They were great. I'd say that was probably one of the best times I've had. Didn't really, we didn't win. We won the Welsh League in the end. Sorry, the Welsh Cup.
Yeah.
But we were thereabouts, getting in Europe year on year. Some of the runs we had when first time we qualified, that 14-game unbeaten run. Times like that, looking back now, some of the your best football memories.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I bet a lot of that is, isn't it? Like, and we've obviously had a chat before this came up, before we started this, and every single person I spoke to says that they seem to achieve a lot more when there's a bit more of a stronger dressing room, a stronger changing rooms, and you all.
Oh yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. If you've got the right personnel and your ability, you don't need that much ability because you've got people around you who work hard and do the dirty work, and you see that you do it as well for them. It's like a little family. Don't forget, you spend 9 months of the year, 10 months of the year with these lads, week in, week out.
Yeah.
So the ins and outs.
As well. Even the travelling
exactly.
down.
Yes. Staying over Friday nights, travelling down on match days. Yeah. You get a report with the car schools, the lads. You have your WhatsApp groups, and that was one of the good things that we had a few good nights out, which made us closer. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Where did you go from Bala then? Is that back to Real?
Went back to Real, yeah. We've come back from Europe. I had a little chat with Colin, and he felt he needed a different direction. So that's football. And I spoke to Niall. Niall was the gaffer at the time, and he asked me to come down. Yes, I think I come back off holiday on that weekend, and then they were playing Liverpool on the Wednesday in a friendly. So I said, yeah, I'll come down. I just wanted a game, do you know what I mean? Try and blow the cobwebs off a bit. Yeah. And then from there, stayed on, stayed there for the remaining year. But obviously, again, we were league below, so we were trying to get out the first division.
Yeah.
And we had a good little team there as well. Great lads, set up as a full-time team. Obviously, part-time hours, but yeah, I really think we could have. I think we should have gone up that year, to be honest.
Yeah.
With the players we had, the personnel in the team, but never happened.
So, are you back to Rill then? And then did you move on to Llandudno after that, was it?
Yeah, Llandudno. After Rill, I just thought he had enough. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of demand off me in that season at Rill, especially after Niall left. I took temporary charge.
Yeah.
And just see what happens behind the scenes. It's just, lads texting you at 12 o'clock at night saying they can't make training the next day, or, if you're not putting lads in the teams, having a few berries on a Saturday night and they'd text you at silly o'clock in the morning, or, weren't happy. You'd see them at training, you can see the body language. It was that side of the game that I've never witnessed, do you know what I mean? So that was a bit of a learning curve for me, but yeah, it was difficult, but again, the lads helped me with that, by buying into what I wanted to try and do for the remainder of the season. Matt Jones and me, assistant there at the time. Andy, the goalkeeper coach.
Yeah.
Wilmot. So lads who were already there knew what we were trying to get. The end of the season, the achievement we wanted to get. I think we were miles off going up in the end, but I was happy with the performances the lads were putting in, the effort. We went on a good little run of winning games and not getting beat. I think I had 19 games, something like that. Won 14 of them, something like that. So
it
wasn't too bad. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. But again, that fell on towards the end of the season, with things changing behind the scenes with the chairman and stuff like that. And again, didn't want me and Matt involved in that in any way, putting our ideas in. So, but again, that's football. That happens. Yeah, like you said, when from there, Ivan come phoned me a few times, pestering me to come to Llandudno. He'd phone me at 3 o'clock at night. He'd phone me in the morning, see how I am. They're just trying to pester me to force me to go to him. In the end, I just said yes to give in to, because he was doing me head in. But no, again, same there. That the lads, the personnel he brought in, great players. Like Pio, you had Kai Edwards, Zayach, Danny was there. I think who else was playing there at the time. Damien, we had him up front for a bit. Young Zeb. So we had a good personnel there. Obviously, Webby again. Webby was there. You were saying about Webby before. But again, that was another season where it was just up and down, up and down. We got relegated that year. I've never been in that situation of a relegation. I've always been like qualifying for Europe, or being around near the top of the league. So that was a new thing for me, with it, more experience that I gained from football.
Who was the manager there then, Mark?
Ivan Williams.
Yeah.
I think he's at Chester now, doing a bit with the lads there. I did notice he's doing a bit of one-on-one as well, his coaching time. So, but yeah, again, young manager, full of ideas, wanted to get everything across. Run again like a full-time team. Again, it's just, I just think we were unlucky that year, to be honest. Some games we dominated where we just didn't put the ball in the back of the net. It wasn't. And then we'd do a silly mistake and get punished the other end. It's just one of them seasons I think we had to write off. So, but yeah, unfortunately, we got relegated.
Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? Then you're finished. I think you're finished now.
I'm finished now. Yeah, Hollywell. Yeah, again, Johnny, another pest. Wouldn't leave me alone. I was on holiday with the missus and the kids in Mallorca. My phone wouldn't stop. He was texting me. I had to leave the phone in the room in the end, so I could enjoy my holiday. So I'll speak to him when I get back in 2 weeks. Again, pester the life out of me. Just do one more year. Just do one more year. you know, you're not finished yet. But my body was telling me I am, but my head was still telling me I was a 21-year-old. And again, I gave in to him and said, yeah. But that year again was another good year. You know, I scored a fair few goals for them. We won the league.
Yeah.
Got promoted. Again, it's just another surreal year of us doing what we did best. Again, Johnny had everything in place, a structure with Dave there, his assistants, putting, you know, what we actually want to achieve at the end of the season, right at the beginning. We need to be that, you know, we're a big club. We need to be higher up, fighting with likes of, you know, you come down Bangers and your Colin Bays and Rills and stuff like that. So yeah, after that, mate, I just retired. I had enough.
Were you ever going to do this season? Or
no,
you were done anyway.
Never. No, I was done. Johnny, honestly, Johnny pestered me again. Just be a player coach. And I said to him, the thing is with that, being a player coach, you'd play me and I wouldn't coach. So I knew exactly what he was up to. So I just said, no, that's me done now. I'm retired, like 37, done. I've done my time. My body can't take it anymore.
Right. So I've just got some quick fire questions. And the first one actually quite interests me more than most, and it doesn't normally. Because the question I've got here is, what position do you play? Now, I know that I've watched you play every position, so I suppose.
Good question.
What is your preferred position to play?
I started out as a right back.
I remember.
Yeah, right back. I always like playing right back, mate. Getting up and down, putting balls in the box. It was a. See, I hate the word versatile because that was always put to my name. Conno can play there. Conno can play there. Put him there. Like you said, I played him everywhere for real. I even played in goal.
Yeah.
And we won 3-2, by the way. So
I have to try and find a clip.
Yeah. Carsuso it was when we won 3-2. Rolo scored the last minute winner. Perler as well, top in.
He's got that. He's got that in his life.
Yeah, I remember he was angry with me because he was on the bench, and you could see he was angry. He come off and scored away, I think, because he was angry as well. Do you know what I mean? So thanks Rolo for doing that. But yeah, I think my favourite position I preferred was right back. But again, over the years, John used to put me down the pitch, centre mid if someone was injured, you know, play up front, just off the forwards, right or left wing.
I just remember one specific season at Reading. I just remember you scoring a lot of headers.
Yeah, up front. Up front, yeah. That was under Strongy, Greg Strong.
Yeah.
It was Strongy who actually went, I'm going to play it up front for a bit. I think Matty Williams got injured.
Yeah.
And he said, we've got no forwards. And I said, I reckon I could play up front. You know what I mean? So he said, right, we'll put it up there. And I scored a fair few. I think I scored 20 odd goals that season.
I remember 27 for some reason.
Is it? Yeah.
I remember 27, but
yeah, it was something like that. Even I was amazed at scoring that. But yeah, do you know what? Some lads still show me clips.
Yeah, I seen a clip the other day of you playing against Clanver PG. I think it is just on. Is it Clanver? Yeah, Clanver PG just on Anglesey, and you in a cup game. I think you missed a penalty to get a hat trick.
Yeah, we won 3-1. I think it was.
Yeah.
Well, everyone used to remind me that saying, do you remember me scoring against you? I said, no, mate, it was too busy the other end scoring mine. But yeah, I remember that game 3-1. I think it was on Segorio as well at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was, yeah, I do remember that, yeah, 3-1. 3-1 the Welsh Cup. But I've tried not to remember the penalty, like.
No. Didn't you hit the post? I think you hit the post. Right.
Yeah, hit the post and went across the goal on the other side.
Yeah, that's it. What football club do you support?
Everton.
I think I knew that. Best player that you've ever played with?
Oh, good question. There's been a fair few players like I played with. God, tough. I go from the Welsh League, I'd say. It's a hard one, this. top of my head, say probably Gaz Owen.
Yeah.
What he could do with the ball, pick a pass and stuff like that, was unreal.
Yeah.
But again, there's been a few. Owen Tudor-Jones, who was a banger, played, young lad at the time, full of energy.
Yeah.
Gaz Wills,
Yeah.
little lad who just run round and just got the ball, little terrier, got the ball back for you and just played it simple.
Yeah.
Craig Jones, who used to play in front of me at Rill the year we won the league, the right winger.
Yeah.
He was rapid. Trying to overlap him was never happening. I couldn't catch him. But yeah, there's a few like top of my head player who stood out a bit was Gaz with the ball at his foot, like.
Yeah, I'd seen a few clips because I spoke to Neil Roberts a couple of weeks ago, and I was just trying to get Neil's goals, and a lot of the time the assists were from Gareth, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's one goal that stands out with Gaz. I think we played Prestatyn at home. I don't know if it was New Year's Day or Boxing Day, and Gaz stopped in the 18-yard box and scooped it over.
Yeah,
Dunty. That was just it. That was him messing about. He was down in training messing about.
I'm gonna have to try and find that goal now, aren't
I?
Yeah. Best player that you've ever played against?
There was a lad at Partizan Belgrade, Lucic, I think his name was, the forward. I think he scored 4 against us, to be honest.
Wasn't that? It was a lad for Partizan called Cleo, Brazilian. Was it not?
Yeah. Do you know what? It might be him, actually. The forward, he scored that overhead kick.
Yeah.
On the angle in the 18-yard box. I'd never known how he scored it. Even Lee Kendall and George and I were looking at each other and strongly saying, I don't even know how he's just done that, do you know what I mean? There was him. In the Welsh League, I'd say Nicky Ward was a hard one to play against.
Yeah.
Tricky left foot. I played against him at right back many times. And he was rapid off the mark. He'd get past you. His first touch, he'd be out his feet and you'd just, put on the burners and run past you. So I'd probably say Nicky. He was very good, like.
Brilliant. Who's your favourite ever player?
God. It's got to be Big Duncan at Everton.
I would have guessed that one. Best manager that you've played under?
Manager, tough on this one now.
Yeah.
So you all bring different things to the table. Listening to them over the years, some of the experience I've got on. John Hulse knew how to make you tick and get a reaction out of you. Strongly liked you to play and express yourself.
Yeah.
Colin was, same, wanted you to graft and work hard, do the dirty stuff. God, all of them. They all bring something to the table. I couldn't pick one who really stood out. They all had different attributes, you know what I mean, for the game that we were playing in or playing for or against, you know what I mean. So,
favourite ground that you've played at, or stadium, I suppose? You probably played stadiums a lot as well, haven't
you? Probably Vikings. Not Vikings. Who did we play the other year? It was over in Sweden for Bala.
AIK.
I haven't in the team now. AIK, that was it.
Yeah.
We actually played at the training ground. Rihanna was having a concert at the main ground. Yeah, so the training ground held 50,000.
50?
Yeah, 40 or 50,000 was the training ground. We couldn't play in the 80,000 seater because Rihanna was at a concert there.
How selfish. What's your proudest achievement in football?
Probably walking out with my kids to one of the European games for Bala. That was always a goal of mine, was to take my kids onto the pitch with me.
Yeah.
Proud dad moment.
course, yeah.
Probably also scoring 100 goals in the Welsh Prem. I always wind the lads up saying I was not bad for a right back. Scored 100 goals. Most of them were free kicks. Like you said, most of them probably with my head as well.
Do you know the exact figure of that then? How many you did score?
What with cup competition and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's roughly around about I reckon 130 odd mark, around that mark, I reckon.
Okay.
I did score a fair few in the Welsh Cup and stuff like that. So over the years.
And you still prefer being a right back, but you scored 130 goals.
Yeah, well, yeah. Because you can take free kicks.
Is there? So obviously we just chatted. You've retired from football now.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd still like to achieve? Obviously, you did a bit of coaching when you were at Real. Is it something that you want to sort of still chase, or?
Yeah, I'm still doing a bit of coaching now. I work for the Welsh FA. I'm a mentor for the C certificate with Mark Roberts. So I've been doing that for a few years now. Do a bit of Sunday with Danny Holmes with his EPD.
Yeah.
And also, obviously, when we can, being an Evertonian, working at Liverpool International Academy. But I get stick for that because I've got a massive Everton tattoo on my bicep. So if I wear the t-shirt, get a few funny looks.
What's
I've still got my foot in the door coaching.
What's that role at Liverpool?
In which one?
Liverpool.
So what they do is academies and stuff like that from around the world either come over to the training ground, or we send coaches abroad, so like Denmark, Sweden, America. Got a few places around the world, like where coaches will go home and deliver the Liverpool pathway. What they do is coaches at the club.
Yeah.
So it's it's a good opportunity. A few of the lads who from playing in Wales are actually coaches for them as well.
Well, I didn't know that, I have to say.
Yeah. So like, I've got my foot in the door still with the coaching. Obviously, the last year's been hard because obviously with the lockdown and stuff like that. But we're starting to get back on our feet now. Especially with the Welsh FA. Just took on a load more candidates this year.
Yeah.
To start their coaching journey. And like we said before when we had the chat, I'm also doing the Sunday League team by ours, Rock Ferry Social.
Are you in Rock Ferry, are you? I cover I cover the Wirral, the work. So
yeah, we're doing a bit with Rock Ferry Social. Me and Degsy Ward doing all right this year. So hopefully we start again next Thursday. First game's back. So
for people that didn't,
that's the right trade. Yeah. Do you know what? It's been a bit of a blessing retiring when I did, obviously with the lockdown, because it took me focus off not being around a group of lads.
Yeah.
Obviously we're coming in thick and fast, so it's I think that's helped a little bit. I still keep in touch with the lads all the time, like to Hunsey, Stonesy.
Yeah.
I see a few of them. Obviously when we were out of lockdown, Stewie Jones, Tomo, still keep in touch with them all. So it's not.
I can imagine, when you've been in sort of that environment. Obviously, you've been in that environment for what 20 years, basically, where you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't imagine to then suddenly not do it can't be easy.
Yeah, I think that. Do you know what? I think it'll hit home more when everything's back up and running, back to a bit of normality.
Yeah.
Obviously, like we said, we had a chat before. That I'm doing a bit of coaching with Hollywell. They asked me to come on the staff there this year, so I'm going to keep my foot in thereabouts. And to be honest, I'm enjoying the coaching side more now than actually of playing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give a little bit back. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, over 20 years of experience off different coaches and managers.
What is your favourite holiday destination?
My Lanzarote.
Very nice. Mine's Gran Canaria. What do you do to relax? Finally,
God, sit in front of the telly, feet up, and just chill out with the family. It's been manic the last couple of months with work and stuff like that. It's just nice now and again to have a little break and just, like today, all we've done is all of us sat down, watched films and and had a telly day all on the couch. You know what I mean? So even then, I'd switch a few times, looking at the clock, thinking, should I go and do something? What can I do?
I think
I find it hard to relax sometimes.
I do think that obviously once all of this pandemic's over, I think everyone will value their families and the time they have with their families a lot than what they probably did before it. I must admit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, because we're the same. Obviously, with my missus, kids, and stuff like that, and can't go anywhere, can't do anything. But I actually quite like it now. I hated it at first, but that's brilliant, Mark. So thank you very much. Really, really appreciate you taking part.
No, much appreciated, mate. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, like we said before, I've listened to a few of them. Good to catch up with a few of the lads of the time at Rill and stuff like that, and hopefully Rill can get back to where they should be. Do you know what I mean? I'm always looking out for the results.
That's it. Cheers, Mark.